Last game of the season, and we've qualified for European football. And to be honest, if we hadn't fallen flat on our face, we would have qualified for Champions League. But we were bound to throw it at some point in time, so why not the second to last game of the season? My name's FM20, and it's time to get Réal. I'd love to say we have a lead pipe lock on 5th place, but we don't. It's possible Betis can pass us up, but even if they do, the lowest we can finish is 6th place, and that's Europa League group stage. At one point in time, we were in 4th, and we absolutely fell flat on our face, and I will show you that here in a second. Before the last game of the season, I just wanted to go over this. In our 37 matches played, our 70 goals scored are second highest, our 52 goals allowed, our 11th best. 77 yellow cards. We're under triple digits for yellow cards. I'm quite happy with that. The goal is fewer yellow cards than we have points, and we almost came close this year, just 9 off. And then we had the 1 red card. Lacine Traore, Predrag Spikovic each had 14 goals, although to be honest with you, Helio is quite close. I think he has 12. We'll check that out at the end of the season here. He's actually on international duty. He is not playing the game today. Majashak ended up with a 7.37 rating. Charles Ely Mathis, 8 assists. Majashak, 4 Players of the Match awards. Alvaro Nunez, 11 yellow cards, plus he just signed a new contract with us. And that's why we're currently over our spending budget just a little bit. George takes a midnight constitutional and decides he's going to bark at everything he sees. And of course, because it's dark out and there's shadows everywhere, he sees everything, so he barks at everything. I'm sure my neighbors love me for it. So we last played Malaga and Levante. At Sevilla, we drew 1-1 thanks to a Traore goal in the 2nd minute. This was a bummer of a game. They had a player sent off in the 78th minute, and we couldn't capitalize on it. We were good. We weren't good enough. We really had them on the ropes. I really thought we should have won this one. Against Leganes, we shut them out 3-0. Lissandro Timone, a brace of goals. Helio Cesar, a goal in the 82nd minute. This was a solid game for us. We had 21 shots, 11 on target to their 15 and 8. We didn't have the possession advantage, but I'm finding that it's not a big deal for us in this formation now, especially because we're scoring a lot more. Mahmoud had a fabulous game, a 9.0. Why he didn't up with player of the match. Tremonti ended up with player of the match because of the 2 goals, but I think Mahmoud should have won it. He was so good offensively and defensively. It was a flash of the player that he could really become. Against Betis, we drew. We had to claw the drawback. Helios scored the goal in the 86th minute to claw it back, but we were absolutely outclassing them in every area of the field. They got 2 goals within 2 minutes and just completely put us on the back foot. We had 24 shots, 11 on target. They had 8 and 4. They sat really far back. We were really far forward, and we just could not get it done. It was annoying as all hell. Against Sociedad, we drew. This was probably our last best chance to get into Champions League. And we had to claw the drawback on this one here. Holland scored, and then Spikovic equalized in the 63rd minute. Oyarzabal got a penalty kick in the 73rd minute. We got a gift of a penalty in the 89th minute. I'll be the first to admit that. Traore equalized, and we had to play Real Madrid to get into the Champions League. So, of course, we fell flat on our face and got thumped 6-0. It was a horrible, horrible game. I pulled off Guerrero and Rodriguez at the half because they were just absolutely getting abused. You know, Malcolm scored in the 8th minute. Pogba had 2 goals, 6 minutes apart. Nieto scored right before the half, and I gave up. I mean, I didn't do anything the second half except subbed out Cesar the last 20 minutes of the game or so because I didn't want him to get injured. You know, they played a 4-2-3-1. We played our 4-2-4, and you can tell their players are just better than ours across the board. We're good, but we're not Madrid good. You know, I think I've got a couple players that if they develop can be Madrid good. The problem is Are they going to be Madrid good for me? Or are they going to be Madrid good for some other team? So today, of course, we're playing Cadiz, last team of the season. As I mentioned, Helio is on international duty. The lone player we brought in, whose name I'm totally blanking on right now, broke his lower back and went back to his parent club. So we're a little bit weak there. And I still haven't found out what the board is willing to give me for next season. So we're going to get the Cadiz game out of the way. We'll do an end-of-season review, and we'll figure out what we're going to do next season. So back with that in a bit. Last game of the season, we are playing our 4-2-4. Van Berkel in goal. Mahmoud, Sirac, Lukeba, Nunez as the defensive back four. Sinjar and Madishak as the midfielders. Mathis and Tremoni as the attacking midfielders. Smilkovic and Traore up top as the strikers. I would love to beat Cadiz. That would be nice. I don't know if they're even our rivals yet, but they probably should be. Free kick in. Somebody got fouled. I got music for this. Nuts. Come on, Van Berkel. Nope. Malka on the throw-in. Kravitz. Back to Reiner. Over to Hame. To Scarpa. He cuts across to the right side of the field. Drops it off to Luque, who holds it up. Centers it back to Hame. Out to Kravitz on the left. He charges forward, but he's shadowed. Gets the ball away back to Hame. We're just pressing. I don't have marked tightly. That's how we're pressing. Sinkshire takes the ball away. Drives forward. He's got help. Is he going to use it? No. Unless the number 18 player, who I believe is Mathis, just stopped running. Majishak picks that up. Sends it up to Nunez. Gives it back to Majishak. Drives forward. He's been talked about as Spanish Spanish League Player of the Year. Traore out in the right. Dumps it off to Tremoni, who turns around, gives it back to Traore, far post. Wow, that was nice. 15th goal of the season for Lucena. I think we're set up really well for next year. We've got Traore, we've got Smilkovic, and we've got Helio as the three primary strikers. Campos plays striker, although I'm training him to be an advanced midfielder on the right. He can come in and play striker. He's 19 years old now, and he's going on 20. I'm debating whether or not getting him another year of... Oh, Tremoni, rather, takes the shot, and Kudryk with a very nice block. I'm wondering if another loan spell for him at a better club might not be in order. We shall have to wait and see. Hame. Matashak. In the box, right at Kudryk. We've got a decent squad. We've got a solid squad. If this year shows anything, it shows that the past couple of years of getting younger players in and getting quality players in for a cheap price has really helped us. That ball goes through the box. Escobar picks it up. Davidovits at the top. Wing back to Davidovits. Hame. Out to Escobar on the right. He drives forward. Tries crossing it in. Mahmoud almost takes it away. Wing. Scarpa top of the box, and he pushes it wide left. We're at that point now where we have good players. But in order to get to the top of La Liga and into Champions League, we need better players. And so it becomes this balancing act of, do the players I have, are they good enough to get us where they want to go? Are we going to be able to improve them through training in that? And some of them, I think, yes. Players like Nunez and that, even though I just paid him a new contract at 36,500 euros a week, they aren't going to get better. But they're good players now, and they can hold the fort until we get a better player in or develop a younger player. One of the things I'm really hoping to take a look at this summer, all those youth players we brought in last season, is to sit down and figure out a 2 and 3 and like maybe even a 5-year plan. So Smilkovic driving forward, drops it off to Mahmoud, back to Majishak, Sinkshire. He holds it up, back to Majishak. He drives forward, Tremoni centers it to Smilkovic. Off Kudryk, blocked it and went off the crossbar. Smilkovic gets it again and puts it away. His 15th goal of the season. I think he's the signing of the season. If I'd gotten Helio earlier in the season, possibly Helio. Oh, nice little kung fu roundhouse kick to get that ball past the keeper with a little help from the crossbar. 60 minutes in. We're going to get Mahmoud off, move Sirac over, and bring on Messick. And that's all we're going to do right now. Scarpa with a corner kick. Bounces back and forth, knocked away. Is Tremoni going to get there before... Well, it looked like he was going to get there before Lingard. That's not Jesse Lingard. That is Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard's playing for Cadiz, 33 years old. Holy cow. Wait a minute, I got to figure out what the heck did he go to Cadiz for? 2.9 million. Wow. No, we're not going to make any more substitutes. There's only 5 minutes left in the game. Escobar driving forward, loses the ball to Sirac. Messick centers it to Matishak. All the way back to Van Berkel. Sends it back out to Sirac. He bombs it forward for Smilkovic. Crosses the field. Tremoni dumps it past one defender. Takes the shot, but he pushes it wide left. Last chance. Escobar loses it. Messick sends it back to Nunez. Over to Lukeba. All the way back to Van Berkel. Out to Nunez. Centers it to Matishak. Over to Sirac. He drives forward. Long pass. Tremoni in the box. Knocked away by Kravitz. Nice defensive play. Nunez is just killing time. Ref's going to blow the whistle here shortly. Traore back to Nunez off the throw-in. Dumps it off to Traore. Matishak at the box. Mathis is there, but right at Kudryk. Blow the whistle, ref. And that was a bit closer than I intended. A 2-1 victory over Cadiz, who I suspect at some point in time is going to become our rival. No rivals yet. Should probably put Cadiz there, though. 25 shots, 15 on target. That was a good, solid win for us. Okay, so I'm going to save the game here, and then we will come back with an end-of-season review. Somehow I stopped recording. I stood up from the table to clean my glasses, and I must have clicked something, and so I've spent the last 10 minutes talking, and I haven't been recording. So I get to do it all over again. Luckily, I know what I'm going to say, mostly. So, Barcelona win La Liga by 3 points because Levante pipped Madrid at the end of the season. So 83 points won La Liga this year. We qualified for Europa League. On our 38 matches played, we scored 72 goals, which was second highest. We allowed 53 goals, which is 11th best. Our 79 yellow cards are second highest. Thank God we didn't finish first there. Our attendance was really good. We actually packed the stadium. The goal next season, fewer yellow cards, and we have points. So Lucien Traore and Predrag Smilkovic each had 15 goals. Eric Matishak leads us with a 7.38 rating. Charles Ely Mathis, 8 assists. Eric Matishak, 4 Players of the Match award. Nunez had 11 yellow cards, and Ely Mathis and Mahmoud each had 1 red card. It was annoying. Okay. If we sort by ratings, Helio Cesar led us in a half season, but full season-wise, it was Eric Matishak. This guy has been an absolute gem of a find for me. He's 4.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability, about as solid a deep-line playmaker as you would expect to find. He's not costing me a ton of money yet. You know, he's fairly loyal. He's a star player. He's, got a thing for big matches. And I got him for $4.5 million from Erzberg Au. And I'm totally pronouncing that wrong. I realize that's German. My real last name is German. And I lived in Germany for 3 years when my dad was in the Air Force over there. But most of the Germans I met spoke English better than I did. So, if we sort by appearances, Johan van Berkel had a solid season, 40 appearances, 2 assists. He hoofed the long ball from the box and hit the striker 3/4 of the way down the field. And they went in to score. Matishak, 4 goals, 7 assists, 4 players of the match. Alvaro Nunez, my defensive right back who just signed a new contract, 2 goals, 7 assists, 2 players of the match. Predrag Smokovic, the guy dubbed the Croatian sensation at the beginning of the year when I was wondering how I was going to replace Traore's productivity because Traore was out with a broken leg the first 6 games of the season. 15 goals, 2 assists, 2 players of the match. Castello Luca and Ivan Mesic both were solidly quiet. I mean, between them, they had 1 goal and 1 assist, but they were very solid in the defensive center backs. Sam Massoud is really coming on. He's 3 stars now. If he keeps improving the way he did this year, he will be 5 stars by the time he's 23. 2 goals and 6 assists, which I really like. Charles Ely Mathis was another great find. How much did I pay for him? $4 million from OGC Nice, and he was absolutely worth it. 19 years old. He's only going to get better. 28 appearances, 7 goals, 8 assists, 3 players of the match. Lucina Traore started the season on the bench, came back in to score 15 goals and 3 assists. Jose Gurgera, 3 goals, 2 assists, and a player of the match. Morten Sinkshire, who was one half of my midfield for most of the season, 2 goals and 3 assists. Helio Cesar, half a season's worth of football. 11 goals, 3 assists, 3 players of the match, and a 7.40 rating. I can't wait to see what he does next season. Alessandro Tremoni, really good on the wing, 4 goals, 6 assists, a player of the match. Martin Matasevic, 4 goals and limited appearances. And I'm really it's a good problem to have. I have what I would consider to be 4 good young strikers. My formation will only let me play 2 of them. I could break out the 4-3-3, but I've got really good wingers, and I don't want the wingers to sit on the bench. So what will probably end up happening is it will be Helios starting almost all the time, and then a combination of Traore and Smokovic, with Matasevic coming in when we have a lot of games really close by. So I still think Matasevic can improve. I think Matasevic can be a really good, target man, and that's what I'm intending on using him as. So Max Mace is probably going to move on. He's 21 years old. He hasn't gotten a lot of playing time here, and he's not going to get any better, I think. David Del Vibora came on at the January transfer window, had a solid season for us. Adelson Andrade, who actually got stuck in the under-19s because I misclicked, had limited appearances for us, but had 1 goal, 2 assists, and a player of the match. And then the only other players who really had anything of contribution were Cesar Bernier had an assist, but he's not going to be back next season. Lorenzo Moretti didn't do anything. He'll probably not be back next season. Frank Campos, I'm probably going to send out on loan if I don't keep him here to keep training him at advanced midfield on the right. And now that I think about it, Tremoni is my only advanced midfield on the right, so Campos is staying. I did talk about this earlier in the season. This is my B squad. This is where the players who age out of the under-19s who aren't good enough for the first team go. And I'm really hampered because unless you start with an established B squad, unless you pick a team in the game that starts with an established B squad, Real Sociedad B, Real Madrid Castillo, teams like that, you don't get a B squad. It's not like in the English leagues and that where you can go and ask your board, hey, let's form a B squad. It doesn't happen in Spain. I don't know if it's a behind-the-scenes programming issue or what, but the only way I'm going to get a B squad is if I go in and I edit the save, and I am totally not doing that. The next time I start a save in Spain, I will do my due diligence and make sure that the team has an established B squad, and if they don't, I will go in and edit it so they do have an established B squad. But what's really killing me here is this. If I go to staff, I go staff search, and this is already set up because I was doing this a few minutes ago when I wasn't recording, and I go B squad only, these are the quality of coaches you get. And they're not good. And the kicker is, even if they are good, at least in one area, like, okay, this guy here, right, Torio Adonis, attacking for a B squad coach, that's not bad. The problem is, if I go to hire him, he wants to be a full-time under-19 head coach. Well, that's not going to happen. I'm going to say, real B coach. The only thing I can offer him is an amateur contract that pays no money. And he doesn't want that. He wants to be an under-19's head coach, and he's nowhere near good to be an under-19 head coach. So essentially, I've got 7 coaching slots I cannot use for the B squad. I mean, which is kind of really hampering my players' development in a way. I can't hire a physio. I can't hire a data analyst on an amateur contract, so I'm kind of stuck there as well. It's really annoying, and I wish I'd known that before I started the save, to be honest with you. So the under-19 squad, they had a really good season. This is probably still set up for them. They lost 1 game all year in their division, which was against Real Betis. They had some real blowout of games, 7-1. Marco Abi had some really solid games for them before he went out on loan. They lost in the finals to Real Zaragoza, but they finished first in the league in the group. I mean, they had 116 goals, for crying out loud. And they finished on 85 points. So, what do we qualify for? I guess maybe we go up to another division. I'm not quite sure. I haven't quite figured that out, to be honest with you. If I click there, will it tell me? Copa de Federación de España? No idea, Chuck. So, a solid all-around season. We didn't rely on one player, which I really like. We didn't have the one guy who had the 35 goals, who we would have been absolutely sunk if he'd gone out with an injury. I thought that may have been Traore, but Smokovic really stepped up. Barcelona won the league by 3 points because, as I said earlier, Levante beat Madrid. So Madrid and Barcelona were actually tied going into the season, and it was really, really close. We finished 5th. We were picked to finish dead last. Inducted into the best 11 were Alvaro Nunez and Eric Majicek. The best 11, there's not a lot of them still playing. Julian Rusev is a bright. That's right, I sold him. Lucien Traore is still at the club. Everyone else is pretty much retired, or although 4 members of the team have retired. So Barrera, De La Calzada, Sagado, Miguel Martin, and Javalilo all retired. I think although Javalilo is one of them wanted to be a coach at one point in time. So we had a club expectations and visions meeting. Now they want me to play entertaining, attacking, high possession. How can I phrase this? They want me to play entertaining, attacking, high tempo, pressing, possession soccer. I would much rather play winning soccer. Not Italian winning soccer, but soccer. Work within the payroll budget, minimum 3-year contracts I can do. They want me to avoid relegation, which isn't going to be a problem. They want me to reach the group stage next year, which hopefully shouldn't be a problem. I think it's safe to say this year's version of La Liga was off a little bit, especially when you consider, I think I highlighted this an episode or 2 episodes ago. So 83 points won the league this year. Last year it was 94. The year before that it was 101. And the year before that it was 93. And then 88. And then 91. So I think it's safe to say the league was a little off this year. Everybody beat up on everybody a little bit more. So, end of season team meeting. What do we plan for next season? I hate this. I'm really curious way to take a tip to independent. I think we take it a step further when we come back for preseason training. Okay. At this point, I'm really kind of getting the impression that the end of season talk doesn't really worry. Season injury report. Lucien Traore was out the longest. He was out 4 months. Hassan Mohammed had 4 of them. He was out 5 weeks with a sprained knee. 7. We were fairly healthy. Singshire was probably the one who was injured the most. Him and Mahmoud. Although Matasevic was out a decent amount too. Singshire was only injured 3 times. But like each of his injuries were like multiple weeks. So. End of season break. That will be back on Monday, July the 6th. Okay. Training camp destination. Current plan will be in Holland. Where are my options? You know what? We'll stay in Holland. I still haven't found out what my budget in that is next year. Initial budgets. 450,000 euros and an 18.8 million transfer budget. That's getting nuts. It's getting better. I just saw another thing that said the board plans to build a new stadium too. So let's see what the finances are on that. To be continued, to be decided, to be decided, to be decided. Will not be a smooth process. It will be some time. Good grief, it's another 3 or 4. If 3 or 4 or 5 years from now I'm still waiting for the stadium to be built, I'm going to be really, really peeved. Oh, someone moved my eraser. What was it? It was $450 a week. And call it 19 mil. What am I spending now? $441. You gotta be kidding me. So we're not getting a payroll increase. Damn. Okay. Well, I do have some players leaving. So. And we'll go one more click. And this is me scouting players for next season. So. It was a good season. I'm really surprised we finished where we did. We had some really solid performances. We scraped out some close victories, and that's what got us to 5th place. Although I suspect next year is going to be very up and down in that we're probably not going to have a lot of draws. We didn't have a lot of draws this season, if I remember correctly, and we had 11. I think it's going to be reversed next year. I think we're kind of at that stage where if we're not winning, we're losing. They're going to be close games, but yeah, it's going to be tough. I'm interested to see if the pundits pick us to finish last. So, but we got European football, which is nice. So they're happy with us getting to the group stage. I'm happy with us getting to the group stage. You know what? This is what I want to do. See what happens. Hey! Exit. You know what? Let me see if I can't get the new data analyst facilities. Okay. I'm 2 for 2. I'm not going to press my luck on you facilities. That's next January. So, plan facilities work done by November. Plan data analysis facility upgrades done in 2 weeks. So, you know, we're getting rid of the metal chairs, guys. We're going to office chairs. Maybe not good office chairs, but office chairs. So, a solid season for us. Some really nice pickups. Some really good young contributors. I think we'll be mid-table for the next couple of years. Upper mid-table for the next couple of years. We're going to be fighting for Champions League football. It's possible depending on how the other teams do. But like I mentioned earlier, we're at the point now where we've got good players. What we need are a couple of great players. And I think I've got a couple I can develop here. Helio Cesar has greatness written all over him. I mean, you know, to come in and have that sort of performance in a half seasons of football, definitely. I still think Assam Muhammad is going to be a defensive left back of quality. I got a couple other 5-star potential players, especially on the youth squad, who in 3 to 4 to 5 years, I think will be contributing greatly. It's just a matter of, how's the best way to put this? I've got good players, but they're not Barcelona good. I can develop some players that will be Barcelona good, but then the question is, 3 to 4 years from now, are they going to still be playing for me, or are they going to be playing for another team because another team came in and offered me a mint of money for them and met their contract release clause? Which reminds me, I need to stay on top of Helio's contract. So, solid season for us. I can't complain. And, you know, the offseason is going to be interesting. We're going to be moving some players on, getting some depth in, looking at training and things like that, developing some youth players, and gearing up again for next season. Next season, it's Europa League or bust. And maybe Champions League too. I'm trying to be optimistic. So, this was the first season we've played in La Liga where I wasn't worried about a relegation battle 30 weeks into it. So, you know, there's that. So, I mean, at one point in time, we were 7 points out of first, and I thought it was possible, and then, Madrid spanked us. So, it's definitely not. We've still got to get better in some areas. So, that said, if you did like what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name's FM20. I thank you for